Hey, and welcome back to How to Be Real, a place where we can be real in a world obsessed with fake. Okay, I am Tasha B. I'm an actor, a filmmaker, a creator, and a screenwriter who is happy to be home. Let's just say that.
Okay, yes, and I'm Tay. I'm a creative producer, lover of all things wellness, and your favorite local yogi.
Yeah. And after we get that out the way, I say, how you doing, Tay?
Girl, I feel so good after a week of just pouring into myself.
Yeah.
Investing into myself.
I'm gonna drink
I
to
feel
that.
okay, same, me too. Cheers.
Yeah.
Had to take a sip because it's like not good
to.
luck if you cheers and don't drink.
Oh, I didn't know
you know what I
that.
mean? Yeah,
Okay,
so
good to know.
it like really seals in the cheers. So, but yeah, I feel just really rejuvenated, but also like super inspired after spending a week with other entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs, and who are also all trying to get to be millionaires. I feel inspired. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Like I said, happy to be home. I had a tumultuous trek home, but
Right.
really interesting that we were both kind of in our respective fields at a networking or developmental, I guess in my it was a TV festival for me, but for you, it was like a networking event. I thought that was really interesting. We were literally gone at the same time.
Yeah, literally.
Doing very similar things. So it was really cool to be able to kind of share that energy with each other and kind of amp each other up. Like, yes, girl, go out there and show them who you are. So that was really, really cool. And crazy that we're just like in sync like that. That's really, that's really, like, I was like, wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Sorry.
No,
Like,
toast. I know.
Literally, I'm like, that, I truly feel like that says something about like the work that we're doing internally as well. And it's just like the fact that we gather with each other, if not once a week, definitely bi-weekly.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? To not only talk about what we're working on, but also talking about what makes us feel low and all the things that drive us and everything. Like, I think that a lot of that also kind of contributes to us being aligned in these moments,
and just feeling, and I guess kind of feeding off each other as well, being inspired to like step out of your comfort zone and walk towards what it is that you want. And it is nice, like what you said about people wanting to be millionaires. For me, it's like people who want to sell a show and have a project that they're passionate about. Being around other people that are doing what you're doing is so inspiring, and also like you said, rejuvenating, and kind of like it feeds into your passion and what you're working towards. So that's really cool. I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you too.
Thanks.
I'm proud of us.
Yes. Shout out to us.
Shout out to us.
But also, shout out to Actively Black. Okay, this is a Black-owned clothing line that has now partnered with a Black-owned cotton farm to supply materials that make their activewear.
I love that.
This is
so
awesome.
much.
Like, a Black-owned cotton farm.
Come on.
Just think about that in and of itself. What a story.
Right?
What a freaking story.
Wow. I'm so happy you brought this up, because I'm like, I want to support. And I hope that you all also support. Put your dollars where your mouth is. You know what I mean? Like, come on now.
Dale has supported them. I think he has a few things, or one or two things from them. But I feel like seeing this is really just like, okay, give them your dollars. Yeah. Like, it's worth it. Buy something. Even if you just buy one thing, check it out. See what's up, because I think that is just dope. We need more of this type of stuff. More Black folks working together to make a Black, like, this is Black-owned cotton in these clothes.
Hello, full circle moment, baby.
I just love that.
How does it feel? Like, did you feel like Dale's stuff?
Yeah, it's nice. He has I think he has like a shirt, and then maybe one other thing. It's not a shirt. It's something else. Okay. But yeah, he absolutely loves it.
Yes.
So he's really big on like how shirts specifically feel like on his skin. He's like, this is a nice shirt. It's good quality shit. So check it out, y'all. Actively Black.
Right. Put it on your list, because like, Christmas is going to be here before you know it.
Exactly.
Put a little bookmark on it and support.
Now we're going to get into our 3 realists.
Let's do it.
3 realist turn-offs. Tay, what are some turn-offs?
All right, so this is gender neutral. Like thick tooth crevice gunk. Like, like just stuff that's in between your teeth. Not necessarily like, when you... I'm like touching my crevice right now.
I know,
like,
your crevice. But I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like when it's like that thick, like either white or off-white stuff in between the teeth,
Yeah.
that is a turnoff. And I feel like bad breath and that kind of go hand in hand. You know what I mean? And I feel like both of those things are turnoffs.
Yeah.
Like I don't want just teeth stuff. I think because on our pregame, if you tuned into our pregame, you would have heard me say that one of the things that attracts me most to men is the mouth.
Yeah.
And so like mouth, teeth is like, I'm looking at that.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that. And when the teeth look a little, I'm turned off. So
true.
That's number one.
You don't want to kiss somebody.
Right, exactly. And sometimes not even like really talk to you for real. Cause I'm definitely, when I'm talking to somebody, I'm big on like eye contact or like face contact.
I feel like it's harder for me to hear somebody if I'm not looking at their face when they're talking. Like it's easy for me to be like, wait, what'd you say?
Right.
If I'm not looking at you,
Exactly. So, and you already know, I be having trouble with the hearing sometimes. So I have to look at your mouth. Let me read the lips.
Like if it helps. It helps to make out what you're saying.
And then if you got all that going on, I don't want to look at your mouth. So, yeah. But my second thing would be trying to get people's attention. Oh, no. My second thing is, this is specific to a man. If he is trying to get someone's attention, like in a group setting, and nobody's paying attention to him, like...
Oh,
like, or kind of avoiding them in that way.
Yeah.
But like, I'm talking about like the type who's like, you kind of want the attention, but nobody's giving it to you. So you're kind of trying hard for it.
Oh, yeah.
That shit is such
like,
a turn
it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's like, or like, okay, just to be a little bit more to the point, and no shade. But when you're like the loser of the group, that's a turn off.
Oh, we've all been that thing. When you're like talking to some guy and then you meet his friends, you're like, oh, why is that the worst one?
Yes.
Dang it. I wish I wouldn't have came here with him because his friend is cute. Yeah, I agree.
That sucks. And then lastly, my last turn off would be when you have a low self-esteem. And
that's just bad for anyone.
That's for anyone, whether it's a friend or potential friend or partner. When I see that you have a low self-esteem or you're talking mess about yourself a lot, don't get me wrong. We all have moments where we're like, oh my God, my forehead's so fucking big.
Right. But like self-degradation when you just met somebody is crazy.
It is crazy, especially if it's like consistent too. Oh my gosh, I've met some folks who have been like, it's constant. It's like, bro,
chill. Are you fishing for compliments or are you just wanting me to combat this, or are you really feeling like this about yourself?
Because I can refer you to a great therapist.
Okay.
Like,
be nice to yourself,
please.
I'm awkward now. I'm feeling weird.
Right. Like, because I don't feel that way. So now it's like,
Yeah, I know. For some reason, that reminds me, there's this comedian, and he's a little person. Is that's the right way to say it?
Yeah.
He's a little person. And me and Dale were like, oh, let's check out his stand-up, right? We love stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
So we go, and like, his routine is all about him making fun of himself for being a little person.
Oh.
And like we're listening to it, and it's like the first 10 minutes, and we're like, okay, maybe let's fast forward a little bit to like maybe he starts talking about just like his life, like what's going on, like something else. But we fast forward to like halfway through, and he's still talking about he's the punchline of all these jokes, and you're like, we ended up turning it off because it's just like, bro, it's not funny. Like I don't know, like I don't want to sit here and laugh at you for being a little person. Maybe I can chuckle at one or two of them jokes if you're making them. But even then, it's just kind of like, man, with stand-up, we want to hear about your life. Like, I want to hear, tell us about your baby mama drama. Or, you know, how your mom is crazy or something. Like, I don't know, tell us something about you. Who are you? You're more than just your stature.
Exactly.
You're actually a person. We know you have human experiences.
Talk about it.
Let's hear them.
We want to hear
That's what I want to hear.
Exactly.
So yeah, that same thing. It's like very, we were
turned off.
We were turned off and we turned it off.
Exactly.
Like, it's too much.
Rightfully so. But yeah, what are some of your 3 turnoffs?
Off tops, cigarette smoker.
Ooh.
Add to that poor hygiene.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Poor hygiene is bad, but cigarette smoker, your hygiene could be immaculate, but you're smoking cigarettes and that's poor. That's poor hygiene. I don't like that. Your breath stinks.
Your fingers probably stink.
Your hair stinks. Your skin stinks. Your car probably stinks. Your house, if you're smoking in there, probably stinks.
Oh my gosh, if you smoke cigarettes in your home,
gross. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Massive turnoff. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And it also is like, do you care about anything? The environment, your health?
No.
Nothing? You don't care?
You don't.
I don't like it. I will hold my breath. When we're walking on the sidewalk and there's people smoking cigarettes, I will smell it, hold my breath until I get far enough away to like not be feeling like I'm just inhaling cigarette smoke.
Yes, I can't stand that. And it shocks me so much that like young people are still smoking cigarettes.
What are we doing? Or like when you watch a movie and it's like cigarettes. I'm like, what really?
What's happening?
What is this adding to the story? This person's smoking this cigarette.
Right. You're not vaping yet.
Right. You're not smoking weed. It's legal now. Like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
So yeah, that, and then yes, poor hygiene. But one that's big is people who don't think for themselves or like have their own point of view. If you don't like to think, if you don't want to have your own opinion, if you don't want to be like, okay, yeah, I hear that, but also let me think about it. Let me consider that. And maybe do my own research and make up my own mind about this.
Yeah.
If you're just a blind, I heard this from one source and I believe it.
You're just a follower.
You're just
blind follower.
A stand for a celebrity or anything like that. It's just like really like, babe, think for yourself.
Please.
Be like, come on. Even if you're wrong, I can respect you having your own point of view, your own opinion, your own thought process, thinking for yourself. I can respect that.
Yeah.
I can't respect you if you don't. So sorry.
That's a good one.
My third one is people who are not considerate of other people or the environment. If you can't be considerate of what's going on, you can't read the room, you can't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like people like that, you know? It's a pizza party. Why are you grabbing hella slices before everybody has gotten a slice?
Ooh, yeah.
Grab 1, maybe 2 slices, but babe, there's other people here that need to eat. Why are you being selfish and inconsiderate?
Inconsiderate. You're not thinking about anybody. Yeah.
Crazy.
You're thinking only about yourself.
Littering, all that type of stuff. Like, you're very inconsiderate of just, you don't care. You don't care about no one around you. You don't care about nothing. I don't like that.
Yeah.
You just.
And also, I feel like if you do that, that kind of seeps into other areas of your life too.
Absolutely. You're going to treat me like how you treating this. You
Exactly.
throwing trash on the ground, you're going to treat me how you treat the earth in this community. With disrespect and disregard, and I don't like that.
And I don't like that.
Bonus 1, bad posture. I can't. It's just, your posture is terrible.
Yeah.
If I talk to you long enough, it's going to come out.
And you're like, ooh.
Does your back hurt?
Like, does your back hurt?
Your neck okay?
Your shoulders a little sore, tender?
Do you work out? Do you stretch?
Yeah, you need to stretch.
The posture thing, it's so incredible how bad posture can make you look older than you are. Obviously less confident.
I was just going to say, and less confident.
That confidence is, you're looking down, your shoulders are, you just look like you don't know what you're talking about. I don't trust nothing you saying.
Nope.
But also,
less trustworthy.
Yeah, but it also makes you look older. It's like you age yourself by 5 to 10 years just by hunching. Like, sit up straight, girl, and be proud of who you are. So
walk through like the fucking bad bitch you are.
Exactly. You have some confidence. Keep your head up. I don't, so if you're listening and you feel like your posture is, work on that, babe. Yeah. Strengthen your core. Stand up straight. You deserve that.
A little yoga will fix you right on up, girl. You know? You never know. You never know.
You never
little
know.
Stretch. Little pop here, pop there.
Oh my God. They also have posture correctors. I know
Oh.
Dale, he used to have one a long time ago. It like goes around your arms or your shoulders and like,
Kind of
helps
like a
to
backpack.
keep you kind of, but it like helps to like keep your shoulders like back and makes you stand up straight. I know a waist trainer is also really good.
Oh, there you go.
For posture.
There you
really
go.
like you up straight like that. And
snatch that waist, get that back right,
Sometimes it ain't your body. Sometimes you ain't even out of shape. Sometimes you just need to stand up straight.
Okay, exactly. I would say a chiropractor, but I went to a chiropractor for a few months and I don't know.
You didn't like it?
I don't know. Like I enjoyed it at the moment, like actually being adjusted, like the pops and the cracks felt great, but nobody tells you, and I will be the one to tell you, that you're so sore, so extremely sore afterward. Yes, like literally before I even went back to the office, they were like, oh, here you go. And it was a branded ice pack, like the office branded ice pack. And they were like, this is for you. And I was like, what's this for? They're like, oh, some people are a little sore after their adjustments, so you put the ice pack on your sore, achy areas. And I was like, oh, okay. Girl, and it's because your body's not used to cracking and popping in those ways because it's like getting cracked and popped back into place and shit. And the soreness just wasn't worth it for me. Like I felt like the little neck pops were really good, little side to side neck was really great. And it would feel very like freeing in the moment, but the next day would be hell. Like
no, I didn't know it was that bad.
it was really, really uncomfortable. And I did it for a while just to be like, let me just see this through. And the more I started like experiencing it, looking it up, the more I would find stories of people being like, yeah, this is how it goes. Like, why is nobody showing this in the damn ASMR back cracking videos?
Like next day, yeah, I got my ice pack on my neck because it hurts. Like,
literally. So I'm sure it would help posture, but I just feel like go with the posture correcting
know what you're getting into.
First. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, waist trainer, posture corrector. There's options, babe.
Exactly, go with the options.
And that'll take us to our weekly reel, honey. And we're getting real about attachment style today.
Ooh-wee. Let's do it. Let's get into it.
Very curious about this because being attached, right? We all get attached to things in a certain way. It's like almost inevitable. The attachment styles that if you look this up, you'll get are secure, anxious, disorganized, and avoidant. Now, I took a quiz and I sent Tay the quiz that I took. And I got secure, which I don't really know. I didn't know too much about this prior to this. So I didn't know what I was going to get. So I didn't really know what I expected, but I was weirdly shocked by secure. Like, oh yeah, I'm secure.
Secure in this attachment style.
But I also believe that it has to do with like the work that I've done, like, been in therapy since 2020 and my relationship, and we've been together for a long time. And I don't know, I've had to process things with, both my mom, my dad, family, and things like that. I just feel like the work that I've done in the past few years probably got me to where I am today. Because, I got, like, secure across the board. Like, you're very secure.
I love that.
Okay.
Like, I'm a secure girly.
But, secure attachment style is characterized by having a healthy, balanced, and trusting way of relating to others.
Yes.
It may look like people that have boundaries and respect your boundaries, people that don't succumb to jealousy, people that seem very authentic and naturally themselves, people that pursue goals and activities outside of their relationships, people that don't play games or compete with others, and have healthy habits with sex.
There we
Which
go.
I feel,
like fits you
like
pretty well.
Yeah, I feel like that fits me pretty well. So yeah.
Ooh-wee. Yeah, well, I took the damn test, and I was like, oh, yeah, I'm taking the test like, oh my gosh, yes, this is me. I agree, I disagree. You know what I mean? Like, I was really going into it like, I think I really wasn't sure what the answer was going to be at the end. I mean, duh, of course, but I wasn't sure about the different types of attachment styles.
Yeah.
I really didn't dig deep into it until after I got my result. But I was like thinking, I'm sure that the result that I will get will be a pretty decent level attachment style, you know, a pretty solid, secure attachment style. And I was not fully wrong. But my assessment gave me an avoidant dismissive attachment style, which means that they value independence, avoids vulnerability, and shuts down when things get too emotional. And I was like, damn, read me, okay. Right, like, all right.
Say it again, sorry.
No, you're good. Values independence,
okay.
avoids vulnerability, shuts down when things get too emotional. Yes, and psychotherapist Thais Sky, I hope I'm saying that name right, says avoidant types often tell themselves they don't need anyone, but this is a trauma response to having their needs ignored or punished in the past. And I was like, damn, I definitely did agree with, or I felt like some resonance with the feeling like, not necessarily I don't need anyone, but definitely standing on like I can do a lot for myself.
Hell
you know what I mean?
Me
like
too. Sure.
I'm an independent, strong Black woman.
Like,
okay, oh my God.
As much as we're like trying to not say that, but at the end of the day,
but I am.
I gotta roll up my sleeves and get to it. I can't.
I'll get in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Get in there. And I got like secure. Like they give you this chart, this like graph that shows you kind of like the test breaks down into your mom, your dad, your romantic partners, and then
just general.
Just general.
Yeah.
Exactly. And with romantic and my mom were secure. They were like in the most secure section of the graph that you could be. So I was like, thank you so much for breaking that down. Because I felt like, But when it came to my dad and when it came to general, my dad was in fearful avoidance, and general was in avoidant dismissive. And I was like, damn, okay, this is interesting. This is good to know. Because I definitely would not have put myself in those categories without this assessment. You know what I mean? And, you know, since attachment style is basically like your blueprint for connection, I was like, can I agree that I am a little avoidant when it comes to vulnerability or when it comes to being emotional with outsiders? Yes, I can absolutely agree with that. Like, that is very true. I feel like even with people like you and my man and my mom, it took a lot of work for me to open up to the level that I'm at now. You know, I feel like there's so many ways, so many times where I'm like, I need to figure it out by myself. I need to let it play out on my own. I need to overthink it on my own before sharing it with anyone else. And maybe if I overthink it alone, I might not even share it with anyone.
True.
You know?
Yeah.
And according to this, the research that I did, because absolutely I fucking went in after finding this out.
Oh, I bet.
I was like, okay, so I do shut down a little bit when people get a little too close. And I don't know if shut down would be the right word, but I do tend to let others take space. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, okay, if you seem like you are in a space to be vulnerable, I'm going to let you take that space and I'm going to take the seat of a listener. And I think that's why I am, like, I would say that I'm good at listening because I'm like, I like being a helper, but I don't necessarily know if I enjoy being helped.
Yeah.
You know?
Ew. Yeah.
Even though it's weird to say because I do like assistance if I ask for it, when I'm ready for it.
But I feel like you also don't like to ask for it.
I know.
Yeah. I feel like I used to kind of be the same way, and now I feel like I'm moving into the, like, ask for what you need. Like, if you feel like you really need this from this person, then just ask. And the worst they can say is no. And if they say no, then, like you said, roll them sleeves up and do what you need to do.
Exactly.
But at least ask. You know? Why not? Why not ask?
Yeah, I think sometimes I get caught up though, like, what do I need to ask? Like, what do I need to ask? You know what I mean? Sometimes, like, the part of, like, okay, I need to get into my bag of what I need help with. And then once you know what you need help with, you kind of know what you need to ask for.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's like, okay, the thing that I needed help with, the thing that I needed help with, by the time I figured out how to ask for it, it's kind of like past. You know what I mean? Or like I got through it while I was trying to figure it the hell out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes when I was thinking about this today, I was like, man, I think I really like more so to be, yeah, like I said earlier, the helper versus the helpee. You know?
See, I feel like for me, when I think about stuff that I need, when it's asked for what you need, it's usually like, I'm such a, let me talk this through and like at least have another perspective. Like, even if, I come to you with something like a dilemma or a decision I'm ruminating on or whatever it is, and I bring it to you, maybe what you have to offer doesn't exactly help me make my decision, but just talking to you about it, I kind of make my mind up. And so for me, a lot of the times they're like, what do I need from this other person? I really just need to talk to this person. And I know there's been a lot of times where something's going on in my life and I just call you and I'm just like, I just want to talk to you about this. And that's really all it is. Like, I don't really need you to like do anything or really anything other than just like, hear me out, hold some space for me real quick and let me just tell you about this so that I can figure it out, think it through. You could be a sounding board, and maybe a lot of the times it's like something that I'm saying to you that makes me feel like, oh, so that is how I feel about it because I'm telling this person, and that helps. So I know for me that's the like ask for what you need, and it really is just like, well, I don't really need to ask you for anything other than, hey girl, what are you up to right now? You free to talk?
Right, for real.
It was like, actually, yeah, call me in 5 minutes. Like, all right, cool, I'm gonna call you.
Like, bet, say less.
I need to talk about this.
Yes.
So yeah.
Dead ass. I know. I was thinking like, because it said, what did it say? It said, the psychotherapist about being like, oh, a trauma response to having their needs ignored or punished in the past. And I was like, thinking about it, like, did I ever feel like I had my needs ignored or punished? Because I'm like, I feel like I grew up solid, you know what I mean? But then you start thinking like, I guess there were absolutely times where it felt like I could not say what I felt like needed to be said or feel like 100%. I think we've talked about this on the show some episodes ago, where it was like I felt like I couldn't step fully into like that Aries fire. You know what I mean? That I have of being like, oh, it's there. But I felt like maybe growing up I couldn't fully be in it.
Which makes sense. That's fair. A kid, you can't really be firing off.
No, you can't. You really can't. So it's like, okay, well, maybe that's why there's that, well, I'll just deal with it here with me, where I know it's safe.
Yeah.
You know, and I won't be like a burden, or I won't be judged or something like that, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, I hear that. I know for me, upon doing more research onto the other attachment styles that I didn't really get, but I was curious about anxious attachment style. And this one is characterized by a strong need for closeness and intimacy in relationships, coupled with a fear of abandonment and rejection.
Yeah.
So this is caused by an inconsistent or unpredictable caregiving during childhood. These people seek constant contact and reassurance, have difficulty being alone, prioritize their partner's needs over their own, exhibit high levels of jealousy and mistrust, overreact to perceived threats, ruminate over past experiences, feel inadequate or have low self-esteem, and have trouble trusting others. They also engage in people-pleasing behavior. And so when I'm doing research on that, I feel like that was probably my previous attachment style, just because I did have people-pleasing behavior. I did place other people's needs over mine, familial, romantic partners, and even sometimes friends, where I'm like putting myself out in order to feel like I'm being like, in my mind, the definition of a good friend is putting my needs over, or putting this person's needs over mine. Being a good sister, a good daughter, a good whatever is like, I need to really like, forget it. I have to work tomorrow morning. I need to go to this person's birthday dinner or else I'm a bad friend. You know, that type of stuff. Also, difficulty being alone. It used to be something that I didn't really like. And when I was alone, I wasn't very happy with myself just because of, you know, I don't know, self-esteem and, you know, maybe not being fully happy with the life that I had.
That's real as hell.
So yeah, definitely super jealous, you know, trouble trusting others. Yeah. Absolutely. All of that felt like, yes, girl, this was me. So for me, it was very encouraging to know that, like, even with like my dad and in general, I have healed that enough to where it's not showing up on these quizzes. Yes. Because again, doing this research, I'm like, girl, yes. I was definitely this girl. Yeah. And now it's like, okay, I've kind of like moved over into the secure box. You know, I'm secure with it. I like that for me.
Yes, me too. I know it's cool to be able to see growth, especially like, you know, when we're talking about doing the work and, you know, going inward and all that stuff. Yeah. It's like a lot of it, almost all of it is not like as easy as taking a test. You know, it's definitely, you know, you have to put, I don't know, put the hours in, put the days, the years into it. And so it's cool to be able to like put that in, take a little assessment and see like, oh my gosh, if years ago I would have taken this, ooh, who knows where I would have been. Like,
I would have been anxious, honey.
Right.
Oh, anxious attachment. I don't know what's going on.
Honestly. And I feel like I probably would have been a little bit more of, I think definitely still in the avoidant dismissive mixed in with the fearful avoidant, which I think is what that box I had with like my dad, which I know is like the disorganized one, where it says they crave connection but are terrified of intimacy, usually rooted in trauma or inconsistent caregiving. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. That, like, do you have anything else on that one?
Yes. So, disorganized is characterized by inconsistent and hard to predict behavior. And just like you said, caused by childhood trauma or inconsistent or unpredictable caregiving during your childhood. They often have conflicting desires, inconsistent behavior, difficulty regulating their emotions, difficulty trusting, and fear of intimacy. Those are like some of the
Goodness gracious.
I know.
Reading my life right now. Yeah, okay. See, I'm glad that I've done moved up to the avoidant dismissive.
I know, disorganized is like, oh my gosh, it's like, it's all over the place. You don't know what's going on.
And you know what's crazy is like, for the longest, I was like, I'm just impulsive. Like, I'm just an impulsive Aries.
Like, I'm an Aries, and we're just all over the place.
We're just all over the place. Okay,
like, no, girl, you have a disorganized attachment style. That's what that is.
That's what that really is. Oh my word, that is insane. Especially the like going back and forth, not knowing how to feel. Like, well,
not able to regulate your emotions.
Well, and it's crazy because I think sometimes when you hear unregulated emotions, at least for me, when I hear that, I think of like somebody who's like, like just open Pandora's box
walls.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Whereas I think like it doesn't have to just be that. It doesn't have to just look that way. Because I know for me, it was very much like not so loud, but a little like more mysterious, like more like silent but deadly moves, you know?
Like, you don't know until you know.
You don't know until you know. He's gonna really bite you in the ass. And because like, especially younger version of me just looks so innocent and sweet. It's like you don't know what you're getting. Like, oh my God. Yeah. So
But about avoidant, something I seen in my, like when I was researching it, negative experiences with vulnerability is something that can also cause people to kind of become avoidant. Do you identify with that at all? Having negative?
Ooh, negative experiences with vulnerability? Oh my God, for sure. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like absolutely. I think my mom was always a solid place for me allowing to be vulnerable, but she is to this day, she's very watery, you know what I mean? She feels deeply, she has a lot of emotions. And I think, like, for me, I it's always been like this, just naturally. I like to have a little bit more control over when I go deep into my emotions, you know what I mean? And I think when it's just you and your mom or one parent, you're a child, you're kind of forced to comply to whatever they want.
Get with it or get lost,
Exactly.
honey. What you gonna do?
What you gonna do? And I understand, because yeah, parent-child relationship, that's just kind of how it is sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think it kind of like forced me to go with what worked for her and not necessarily what worked for me. You know what I mean? And so I think that it played with my vulnerability level, because sometimes it would like force me into a position to have to be vulnerable when I didn't feel like it or didn't feel comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
Or, you know, when I'm ready to be vulnerable, maybe she's already like taking up the space, so I can't necessarily, or I feel like, okay, this is her turn.
Yeah.
I can't do it yet. You know what I mean? So I think, so I absolutely definitely relate to that.
That negative experience with vulnerability.
And I think that's also too gears into or leads into why I am more comfortable being a listener when folks are talking about things that go deep, because it's like, I would much rather you take up this space, you know, so I can listen. I know how to do that very well. You know, I know how to do that. It feels comfortable for me. It feels like a safe place for me. But then when it's time for me and you're like, okay, your turn, I'm like, ooh, same.
Exactly. Ditto to everything you just said.
Ditto. Actually, what are you watching right now? Let's talk about.
I actually have to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Right.
That was great.
Right. Somebody pour shots. Like, so yeah, I definitely feel like something that I was looking at in my research was, avoidants may seem chill about outcomes, but actually feel the disappointment so deeply they avoid trying altogether. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah. And I feel like that's so, like, both of those things kind of like feed off each other. They relate, you know what I mean? Where I'm like, I feel it's not a lack of emotions altogether. It's just the feeling of like, I don't know, because it's so overwhelming, because I do feel it so deeply. I don't know if I even want to try to explain this or try to like share this, because also too, what if you use this against me in the future? You know what I mean?
That's that distrust of people.
That's the distrust. Oh my God, you're right. That's the distrust. And I come from a big family of women who talk shit, cash shit, and hold on to stuff, and we'll throw it in your face. You know what I mean? Or we'll bring something up like, in a joke way too. We'll be like, remember when you said that you hated when people call you out on stuff? Oh my God, that is so hilarious, because remember when we called you out on like having sex, and like you didn't want to share it, but you end up sharing it because we forced you to? Oh my God, that was so crazy. And you're just sitting there like, holy moly.
Well, I guess there's nothing I can do now. Now my cheeks are red.
Literally.
And this sucks. I hate this.
This is why I don't say shit.
Yeah.
So I absolutely agree with that. Yes. Do you feel like, because I know that you were mentioning too a little earlier about like feeding more into that anxious attachment style, do you feel like that feeling of like abandonment, or that fear of abandonment, how do you think you kind of counteracted that? Because that's a big one.
I think for me, it was very much like the fear of abandonment was worse than the abandonment itself.
Ooh.
Because it was weird to have like this independence, this like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna be me. Because I feel like that was my when I look back, I'm like, we all make mistakes and we all whatever. But one thing that I've always, even when I'm like a little kid and I have these memories, I look back and I'm like, I always was somebody that was like, no, I'm going to tell you how I feel. And I would get in trouble and people would laugh or, not take me seriously or, again, I'd get chastised for it or whatever the case may be. But like, I always felt like I'm going to tell you. Yeah. I don't know, like, you know what I mean? The outcome is going to be the outcome. And I used to kick myself. Like, I never learn. Like, I always have to speak up for myself. Even in times where, like, sometimes I do it and then I'm like, I wish I would have just not said anything. Maybe I wouldn't have gotten in trouble or whatever the case. It wouldn't have escalated the way that it did. But I look back now and I'm like, nah, as an adult, girl, go off. You've always been this girl that's like, no, I'm gonna let you know.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's unfair. It's like, okay, well, go to bed. Because like, what? I don't care what you think. It's time for bed. You're 8. But like, I look back on that and I'm like, okay, I kind of like that. I can respect that.
Yes.
But yeah, when it comes to the whole anxious attachment, that fear of abandonment was something that I think I had been or felt abandoned as a kid in some ways. And I think I developed a fear of that abandonment. Because, you feel abandoned in moments where it's like, oh, this is a moment where so-and-so didn't have my back or whatever. But then there's like where the people pleasing comes in is like, I feel like I have to act like this or so-and-so is just I'm not going to have this relationship with them anymore. Whether it's a romantic partner, family, parent, whatever, you feel like, oh, if I'm not performing this way, I'm not going to have these connections. And so for me, it was like, once you actually face the fear of abandonment and actually discover what life is like without these relationships and maybe have that fallout, or maybe you guys just have like a spat where like for a week, y'all not really cool. It frees up that fear because then you face the fear. You're still alive. Yes. You're still standing. You're still you. So it's like, is it the end of the world if you and this person aren't in a relationship? Or is it just, damn, it's a bummer, but it's also like life goes on. Yeah. And so I think for me, that's a big thing that got me out of that anxious attachment and that fear of abandonment and feeling like I had to hold on to people. And if I don't do this, then they're going to leave and oh no. And I feel like now it's kind of like, well, shit, they left. Yeah. You tried to like,
hold on.
You tried to set these boundaries in the most gentle way possible, and they just did not. They're just not with it, and it is what it is. I kind of was in a position of like, you don't have a choice. These people are choosing to just not. They're opting out. Yeah. And so once they opt out, it's like, yeah, you grieve what happened, but then it's like, girl, what you gonna do? Roll over and die?
Right.
No, you're still alive. You ain't been shot. You're okay. Yes, you still gotta get on up and keep going. So I think for me, that really helped shake off that fear of abandonment of just like, well, shit, if they do abandon you, you still got you. And it strengthened that relationship with myself of like, girl, other people may let you down, but also you have you at the end of that day. And, I've let myself down a few times, like we all kind of do. Yeah. But I also am there at the end of the day to be like, ooh, girl, I'm sorry. That was not the right thing. Next time we won't do that. And I'm there for me. Yeah. So I think kind of curating that relationship with self helps to be like, okay, these other relationships are great. They are definitely valuable in my life. But is it life or death? And I think I had to get out of that life or death. Like the stakes were too high. Like, girl, come on now. That's a lot to put on your friend or even your mom. It's like, girl, chill. Yeah. This person's here,
Ooh, wait. That is, wow. And that's crazy because I feel like, do you ever feel like the things that you ask for when you're like, I just want to be stronger. I just want to be less anxious. I want to be more present. I want to be more vulnerable with the people who I care about. and then like you get thrown into the wolves, and it's like it forces you. You're like, okay, this is not how I thought I was going to gain this strength.
Okay.
You know, I thought that maybe one day just my brain would change, my mind would change, and I would just do things differently.
You'd wake up in a different timeline where that's the reality.
Exactly. And it's like, no, you do have to go through the fire to get to the other side.
Yes,
you know, like
girl.
you really do have to experience what you're most afraid of and what you're most distanced from in order to become a new person, in order to become more secure in your attachment style or in whatever strength you're trying to build. You have to find the weakness, you know, and put it to the test.
And face the fear.
Exactly.
I feel like that's a lot of the growth that I can really look back and be like, wow, I grew significantly from that. Is where the thing that you're most afraid of, you like you stop avoiding it. You stop, you know, talking around the hard conversations. You stop telling yourself, oh, I can't do that because, you know, whatever. You actually face the fear head on. And only then do you realize, oh shit, I could do this.
Yeah.
You know, and you come out of the other side, kind of like you said, you walk through the fire and you come out on the other side like, oh shit, I'm hella strong. Okay, girl, we can do hard things.
We can do hard
We
things.
can do this. I love this for us.
Yes.
You know, you have just this new respect for yourself in situations. So yeah.
What did it like actually feel like? What were some of the feelings that you felt like when you let go of control? Because I feel like it's like some of the things that we're saying, I know like when I was just like, yeah, you got to walk through the fire. You got to face the fear, you know, all the things. There's these phrases that we use, but also those phrases come with some big emotions.
And it comes with like trial and error and really, for me, letting go. I remember talking to my therapist. It's like if you had a rope, and as you kind of loosen your grip, the rope starts to kind of go a little bit. And you might grab it again, but then you'll let go and it starts to kind of go. And then you're like, wait, I don't know, stuff's getting a little crazy. And so for me, it was very much like that, where it was like, okay, I'm surrendering to this. But then you surrender to that, and now something happened. You're like, wait, hold on, I got to grab it again.
Grab the reins.
Because I didn't know this was going to lead to that. But then you're like, wait, okay, once you kind of obsess and spiral over this thing, you realize, really, the only thing that I can do is also let go of this.
Yeah.
And so it's like a series of letting go. Like you have to let go. And then, you know, it helps to have a therapist to tell you like, okay, yeah, you let go in this aspect, but it seems like you're still really holding on to this, girl. You gotta let that go.
Yeah.
You gotta let that go, which is leading me to something like detachment, right? Because that was something that my therapist would say to me. It was like, I think you gotta really detach from that. Like, you can't be too attached to this, that, and that, and that. And so then I just remember feeling like, girl, am I just gonna detach from life? Like, what the hell? Am I like, I just gotta not care about nothing?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, not. And it's, of course, the nuances of like being detached doesn't mean you don't care. You can care about it, but you cannot, kind of like what you said, you have to surrender. Like, ooh, ideally, this would happen this way, and we'd all hold hands and eat gummy bears, and it'd be great. But if that doesn't happen, don't stress yourself out to thinking that it's life or death. And for me, that was absolutely what I was doing, where it was like, it needs to go this way. And if it doesn't, I need to do something to make it go that way. I'll go buy some gummy bears. Shoot, I'll make them hold my hand. And I'll make a playlist. And the playlist is going to be so great, everyone's going to smile. Yes. And it's like, yeah, but girl, that's probably not going to happen. You know what I mean? And then
likely.
And then like, what if it don't? What if it rains and you can't even have this picnic with gummy bears and hand holding? What if you can't even do it?
Right.
What if it gets canceled?
Is your whole world going to crumble? Are you going to allow yourself to really become, to succumb to the feeling of like failure because none of that happened?
Are you going to go crazy?
Yeah.
Because a good, really, really good like trial by fire thing, which again is my catalyst into therapy, is 2020. 2020 was like,
2020 was a big year.
We had plans, honey. Did we not? I was supposed to get married. I had all this momentum in my career. Like, it was glorious year planned on paper.
On paper. Amazing.
I think I had the first 8 months of 2020 planned.
Locked in.
And then, of course, everything shuts down and everything is nothing.
Yep. It's over. That's it.
What plans? Girl,
Yeah.
what? You're unemployed.
You're at home.
Who knows what's going to happen? Your industry shut down.
Yeah.
You're non-essential.
Yep. Like, damn, what?
Stab. And, I think that was my, like, really big slap to, like, girl, you need to let go. That year, that was 2020, 2021, surrender. That was everything I'm bringing in. You write something down, like, I'm bringing this into session. I need to talk about this. And it would always boil down to, you got to surrender.
You got to let it go.
You have to surrender.
Detach.
You have to be present. You got to accept what is. You have to surrender. Yeah. And it's hard. It's hard. And it's a series of it, just when you think, like, oh, when I surrender to this, it's going to be great. Something else comes up that you're like, oh, am I ready to surrender to that? But you do. And then it's so weird. I think we talked about this on the show before, where it's like when you surrender to things, you surrender control to things, it's weird that you feel more in control. Like, at least for me.
Yes. Ooh, talk about it.
And it's like you gain more control over your own emotions and your own self. It actually feels more empowering to be like, it's going to be what it is.
Yes. Yes.
I would love for it to go this way, and I'm going to try to do what I can to kind of steer the ship that way. But after I do that initial, like, okay, let's go this way, I have to let go. And then if the ship goes the opposite way, I got to just work with what happened.
And that's so interesting because right now, like, I'm in my path of getting more into a more secure attachment style. And I think I'm more so on the side of I let go too much. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, that's why it's dismissive. I don't need to feel anything. Feeling schmeelings. Who cares? And I truly, honestly, through work in therapy, and I know I've mentioned this on the show before, think that that's why sometimes my memory isn't the sharpest, because I'm like, I don't want to remember anything about how I'm feeling.
You're like, this doesn't feel good. Dump,
delete, like, put it in the trash. Like, you know what I mean? And of course, you can't pick and choose I mean, maybe at the beginning you can pick and choose, but as your life goes on, your body starts to incorporate that as a survival response. Yeah. Like, oh, okay, that didn't feel great, and even on the things that were like normal, you know what I mean? Like,
your feet was hurting that night at the club. Delete.
Exactly. And it's like, bro, whoa, don't delete everything now. Hold on.
I want to remember my life.
I do want to remember my life. And I mean, I'm sure weed does not help. Like, that part. I'm sure that is not assisting. But yeah, I think like the releasing of control, for me, it's like regaining more control. And I think it feels a little scary to feel like, oh my gosh, okay, there's a bunch of emotions here on the table. Are we going to take some? You know what I mean? Are we going to grab some and gain more control over this scenario, over this situation? Or are we going to let it go and let somebody else take it? You know what I mean? You can just play in the background and let somebody else take it so that you don't have to feel it, you know? And I think for me, it's very, I feel like the word is fear. There's fear there that feels like I'm fearful of feeling. You know what I mean? Sometimes, feeling too deep, feeling too much, feeling out of control, but feeling too in control over that, and it definitely is like, sometimes is a struggle it's a conscious effort to be like, I'm going to allow my emotions to be present. I'm going to allow myself to be in this moment with someone else and be as open as they're being with me. Like, it's scary. It's like, I'm putting myself out there,
Yeah.
And feeling like if something does happen, if somebody does use something against you, or does feel like, whatever, you get judged, it's like, okay, it is what it is.
Right.
Like you were saying earlier, it happened, but you lived. Like, life goes on. And once you allow yourself to do it once, it's easier to do it the next time
Yep.
and the next time and the next time. So I think like when I got this result on my assessment, I was like, you bitch. I thought we were further than this. But sometimes you need that wake up call to be like, hey, it's not a bad thing. It's not good, not bad.
Not.
But it's just information to take with you, getting to know more about yourself, getting curious about yourself.
Yeah.
It's important.
It is.
You know?
It's like a check-in.
It's
a check-in, and to know that, like, okay, yeah, in these ways, I feel like I'm doing what I want to do. And in these ways, I feel like this, and I feel like it's very in line with what you're working on. Like when you're sharing what you're working on in therapy and, you know, things, it's very much in line with like, yeah, I am working on feeling my feelings and, you know, being more, I guess, for me, what I'm hearing is like you trusting yourself with your feelings. Because I think when you trust yourself with your feelings, it's really easy to kind of just like express them. At least in my experience, it's very much like, I know I care about how I feel. So if I'm somewhere and I talk about how I feel and the other person is like, maybe they don't say nothing, maybe they don't, you know, especially if it's not my husband, if the other person doesn't respond in a way that, you know, it's, you know, it's like you say no expectations, but if you tell somebody like, oh my God, like I'm just having such a hard time, you lightweight in society expect like, oh, I'm so sorry, you expect something. But if somebody, if they're just like, who cares, you know what I mean, if there's just like a random rude ass person who just really does not give a damn, it's like when I trust myself to be able to be there for myself, there's less pressure on how anyone else reacts. Yeah. When it's just like, oh, I know me. So like if they're rude, then I know I can just remove myself from that person and kind of either talk to a person who I know is a safe space or go to my journal or just, you know what I mean? Just be like, damn, fuck them anyway. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It makes it easier when you can trust that you can hold you down.
And I'm so glad.
It takes that pressure off of everything else.
Yes, and I'm so glad you shared that because I like that perspective a lot. Because I think the way that I'm thinking sometimes about it is like, I trust myself with my emotions, so why trust anybody else? You know what I mean? Like, why
that
even?
That makes sense, too. That does make sense. Like, why would I need you?
Why would I need you?
When I have me.
Yeah. Like, I feel that. But also, too, it's like, I think during this test, it had a question about weakness, I think. It was like, do you feel...
when I'm upset, I feel weak. Or
yes,
something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. And I was like, no, I don't feel weak. Like, I feel like, yeah. Or I think I was like, disagree or whatever. But I will say, I don't know, I'm still working through it, but I think that I sometimes feel that the idea of needing people might equal weakness. You know what I mean? Or feeling that learning the difference between interdependence and dependence. You know? Like, it's okay. Interdependence, you can have a community. You know what I mean? Community is different than leaning on someone for everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like codependent.
Codependent. Yeah, exactly. So I think I'm like, it is so interesting that this really easy test, which we will include in the show notes of this episode.
Yes, take it, y'all. We want to hear. What are your attachment styles?
Yes. The test is very simple. It asks simple questions. You know what I mean?
It takes like what, 5 minutes?
Maybe.
It's very short. Yeah. My husband took it too.
Okay. Yeah.
We took it together.
I think I'm gonna have Rod take it too. These real simple, to the point questions unearth a lot that you might feel is there. I don't know. I think because I went off on my own research path, that maybe it also was like had me thinking like, oh my God, do I really feel this way? Do I think that that's weak? Even though I wouldn't. If you ask me right now, I don't think so. And even how I answered in the assessment, I don't think so. But based off of what I'm saying here right now and what I've been researching on, I'm like, I think my subconscious is trying to tell me something, you know? Mm-hmm. So, anywho, I felt like when you were sharing about like being open and trusting yourself, so I should be able to trust others with this. I'm like, ooh, I don't think I've reached that part yet. I think I'm like, no, I don't trust y'all. And I would never have said that before today. Like,
Yeah.
I don't trust you guys with my emotions. But now I'm like, yeah, I think that is it.
Yeah.
I don't.
I hear you. I hear you. And I think it's not so much about trusting them with your emotions. I think it's more just that, like, I'm comfortable sharing. And I guess we'll see where it goes. And I feel like that's the, like, detachment level of,
yes.
like, I don't know what this is going to be, so why don't I just wait and see? And I think, you know, going back to my anxious self, I think I would feel like, again, I always say, like, I'm a recovering control freak, where, like, I would try to predict how it's going to go so that I can prepare and whatever. But it's like, you never know. You really never know. So then it would cause me so much extra stress and worry and nonsense that, like, now the way approaching something is like, if that starts to creep up, where it's like, oh, who do you think these people are going to be like on this shoot? You've never worked with this production crew before. Do you think they're going to be nice? Do you think they're going to, maybe we should prepare this. Maybe we should do that. And it's just like, okay, girl, we don't know. Quiet it down, because we really don't know. How about we get in the car, drive to the shoot, and see what's up.
Exactly.
And deal with the people that we meet when we meet them. But, like, we don't know shit now. We don't know anything. We're not supposed to get there till 9:30, and it's 8:30. Why don't we chill the fuck out and what do we need right now? Let's make sure we got everything we need, get our asses in the car, and get to the place.
Okay.
So it's like,
instead of trying to predict the damn
people. Like, it's like mothering myself, where it's just like, girl, we just don't know. It's okay. You have no idea what's going to happen. And that used to scare the shit out of me, where I'm just like, I need to know what's going to happen. What are all the possibilities? Let's think of all of them. And it's just like, girl, you can't.
Like Dr. Strange.
Right. Who the hell do you think you are? That mystic bald woman that was teaching him how to fucking draw circles with his fingers. Yes. No, girl, you're not these people. You don't know nothing. You're just a person. Yeah. And I think, like, that's something that my therapist says often. Like, I know nothing. And it's just like, ooh, we don't know anything. And just accept that. You don't know anything. You don't know.
You don't know. But just being open to the outcome.
And just being like, hey, I guess we'll cross that bridge. My mom used to always say that. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And now I'm, like, finding myself like, yeah, because what can you can't cross a bridge before you get to the bridge. Yep. You got to wait till you get there.
Yep. All of these, I love that too, because I feel like all of these little, like, quote, cliche sayings that we grew up on, they become less, or maybe not less cliche, but you understand why they became so popular.
Why people are still saying this. Why they started saying it and why they're still saying it. Because it's so true. You really have to just be like, well, hey, we don't know. How's the traffic gonna be? I don't know, girl. Let's get on the highway and check it out.
That should be one of our 3 realists, is like our top cliche sayings.
Our favorite cliches.
Our favorite cliche sayings.
We know we say them.
Yes, we do. We really do.
I heard that. You probably got some good ones. You be having ones that I've, like, never heard of before. Like when you said chomping at the bit. I was like, what?
Chomping at the bit.
I felt like I was, like, not American. Like, is that a thing? People say that? What?
They just can't wait to get to it.
And then I'm like, that makes sense. Because horses, they have a bit and they're chomping at it because they want to get loosed and just run wild.
Just run. They want to go.
That makes so much sense.
You know? And crossing that bridge when you get there. It's like, wow, that's been like a meditative affirmation this whole time, for real. Like, oh, let me just stay in the present moment is what it's saying. Stay in the present moment and let what happens when I get there.
Be patient.
Be patient.
Be here.
Be here. And when we get there, we're there.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You know?
One thing that these attachment style quizzes don't really touch on is your attachment to things. I really started researching that. And I'm like, consumerism, capitalism, like, it's ingrained for us to be attached to things. And I recently, in reading The Artist's Way, I was noticing a lot of the, like, suggestions. Like, you're feeling stuck? Why don't you go through your clothes and throw old shit away? Why don't you go through this closet and throw all this shit in there? And I'm like, what is all this chores? Like, I don't want to fucking do more work. Chores. But once I actually started to do that, you clear clutter away, oh my God,
Yeah.
why do you feel that energetically?
You really do.
What is it about that?
You really do. I don't know.
Attachment to material things to me is something like, yeah, we have precious things, right? There are things that are expensive. There are things that are family, passed down, heirloom, memories, things like that. I get that, but I think for me, that caused me to really examine my relationship with stuff and realize, like, it's just things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just things. If it's broken, maybe it's time to let it go. If you never wear it, I don't care who bought it for you for your birthday, girl. You don't like it. It's taking up space. You washing it and folding it and taking up a hanger in your closet. For what? You don't even like this. Every time you touch it, you're thinking about, what should I wear? You see that shirt? Ugh, not that.
Not that. Definitely
so why is it hanging up?
I know. That's so true. I had these pajamas from from Rod's mom for so long, and I was like, they were still in the packaging, and I was like, these are not cute, but I want to keep them because she gave them to me. And I was like, girl, if you don't let them damn PJs go,
you're going to have to just let it go, girl.
I feel like...
Give it to someone who needs it. They're brand new.
Exactly.
Someone else would be like, oh my God, these are cute. And actually take them out the bucket.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes, same with like, I know we've talked about this show before, Hoarders. Like, I think,
yeah.
Girl, talk about...
That'll make you get your house together watching that.
It will. It really will. And if you've never seen that show, do not watch it if you're about to eat, because Lord, but I think it's really something about like the physical presence of clutter. It's like it's like the picture of like your mind in real life. You know what I mean? It's like kind of like representative of how you feel on the inside. And so you're like, dang, okay, when I feel, maybe if I move this shit out the way and give some stuff away and move it out, maybe it'll give room, maybe it'll be then reflective of how I feel on the inside. Maybe it'll allow me to start feeling and thinking about what I need to remove and package away internally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know for me, sometimes when I don't know, for a long time, I didn't know that this was what I was doing, but through therapy, I learned this, that like when I would start feeling anxious or, just, anxious, I would start like madly cleaning, cleaning and organizing. I would just, in whatever way, and I remember for a while, it had a strain on my relationship with Rod, like where I would just be like upset about it though, like, not nice about it. And like, anytime there'd be something anywhere, it would just be a problem. It would be a problem. Like, bro, why is this here? I just cleaned this. And then eventually I just stopped saying anything. It would just move the shit out the way and and then that became a problem too. And I remember my therapist being like, is it the end of the world? Like, is it that bad? Like, do you have to... I think that you are doing this because you feel the need to... You can't pinpoint it on the inside, so you got to try to get to it on the outside. And I was like, ooh, okay. And that absolutely resonated. And even now, to this day, even though I'm nowhere near as crazy as it was before, I'm now able to recognize that when I start doing certain things like that, I'm like, let me take a moment and try to like pinpoint, how am I feeling for real right now? So, I mean, I think that's why, like, when you're moving stuff out the way and decluttering, it feels so much better inside, because you're like, okay, this is now, my space is a lot more clear, and it gives me space to try to get more clear.
Ooh, child, that space. I know for me, like, meditation, it's, again, cliche, but like for me, I was attached to the rules of meditation, or what I thought were the rules of meditation. Now I know that there really are no rules. However it works for you, and it really ain't nobody else's business.
Okay.
But you read books and you absorb the content of meditation, and it, sit crisscross, open your hands, But like for me, the way that I would do it is, it was real easy, like either going to sleep or waking up in the morning, to just close my eyes, lay down, get real comfortable, and just really focus on expansion. Not emptying my mind, not thinking nothing, not fighting thoughts, but really just expanding my mind thinking so, I don't know, expand so that if, yeah, there are thoughts, but they're not like all on top of each other. They're not so loud because the room is so damn big. You know, you put 20 people in a room that has the capacity for 1,000, and now all of a sudden, where are the people? You know what I mean? There's way more space than people. And so that's like, for me, that's how meditation works for me, to where it doesn't make the problems disappear or the thoughts or the worries or whatever. It just creates a space that's so expansive that those things seem so small, and there's room for something else. There's room for quiet. There's room for peace. There's room for hope, inspiration, and other things to come as well. And I'm not just so whatever. But, you know, touching back on the hoarders, I feel like having a mind that's just so full of things, it's tough. I know for me, watching hoarders, you almost always, these people have trauma that you're not dealing with, and then all this stuff just stacks up. So it is a representation of your mind being stacked up with things that you're not addressing, and you're just kind of ignoring it. Because some of the things, you open the door and it's like you're trudging through a foot of just garbage in your house. Like, how are you ignoring this?
Dead underneath.
Can't use your bathroom, can't cook in your kitchen. How are you living like this?
How?
You have one spot to sit on your couch and one little
sliver on the bed.
On the bed.
Yeah.
How, baby? So attachment to material things is like, I've rethought that. I've rethought it. I really am like, I've never really been materialistic, but I feel like now even more so. I'm just really like, okay, if it ain't broke, what do you mean?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Do I really need to go buy something for this? Or is there something around the house that might serve the purpose? You know?
Yes. Get a little experimental.
Yeah.
You know?
Just recently at the festival, one of my favorite little purses is like a suede purse I got from World Market. It's very cute. It's brown. The strap came loose.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my God, I had a heck of stuff in it, so it makes sense. But I feel like a year or two ago would have been like, oh my God, like, dang, I love this purse. Darn, too bad. But like, it's real suede. And I have a sewing kit, and I fixed it. And it's actually better because the strap was like super fucking long for no reason. And so I cut a good amount of the material. So now the strap the purse sits exactly where I want it, and I fixed it.
See?
And so I'm like, oh my God, I love that now. I'm like, what can I fix? You know me, my little sewing kit.
Yes.
What can I fix? Because I'm ready.
And I love that because I know that the sewing was like a newer creative outlet that you were exploring recently.
So I was like, oh, but then I was like, I'm going to fix it.
Exactly. Like, I have a new project.
As soon as I got, and literally the next day after I got home, I was like, what's that purse? Get that sewing kit.
Yes. And it's like two things at once, like a little bit of like, you know, mind reprieve at the same time as actually fixing something that you care about.
Yep.
Love that.
And now I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to wear this purse.
Right. Exactly. Now you have more connection to it too.
I know. Now I kind of made the purse. No.
No, really much.
I like your purse. Thanks, I made it.
I made it.
Let us know, guys. What's your attachment style? Did you take the quiz? Are you familiar? Let us know.
Yes, we would love to hear all about it. Again, you can find the link to this quiz in the show notes of this episode.
And we're going to take a quick break and come back at ya. Hey y'all, just want to remind you yet again, we are on Substack. We are writing what our hearts desire. We are cultivating community. And of course, you can catch all of the episodes, both visual and audio, on Substack. So give us a follow, y'all.
You can find us on substack.com/howtobereal, or if you're already on the platform, just at howtobereal. And we'll see you over there, especially for our monthly newsletter.
Yeah.
Not only our podcast, but our monthly newsletter.
That's right.
So go ahead and tune on in. June is going to be a good one. So, subscribe.
Yeah. All right, y'all, we are back, and we are here for our third segment today, which is, I don't like that.
Because I don't like that.
I don't like it at all. But I do love this segment.
Me too.
I will say that. I love
little
this
fave.
segment. But yeah, Ty, what's your first thing? What you gonna like?
All right, my first one is loud ass fitness instructors who also use loud ass music. Like, I can't stand it. Pick one. Please pick one. You know what I mean? Like, if you're overwhelming, absolutely overwhelming. Like, I think if you're going to be loud, maybe your music isn't also blasting and blaring in my ears.
Oh my God.
Or if you're going to have loud music, maybe you're not also screaming. You know what I mean? Like, I enjoy an instructor who, if your music is loud, you kind of turn it down when it's time to move to the next thing, and then you turn it back up or something. Overall, I'm just not a huge fan of super, super loud music in a class.
Yeah, no, because I can't hear you.
Right.
I'm looking like, wait, what?
Literally.
What did you say?
Exactly. And sometimes if I'm already moving a lot, like if it's more of an aerobic style class or like a HIIT type class, my head is likely already kind of like feeling the heartbeat. You know what I mean? Then mixed in with like some loud ass music.
And then you, okay, like, oh God, okay.
Please chill out. Yeah. It's too much. Please chill the fuck out. And decide which one you like more. You like the sound of your own voice more, or you like the music more? The playlist. I need you to choose because I don't like that. Okay.
I heard that.
And that's it. What you got?
Mine is women who vote and act against their own best interests and the interests of other women to appease the patriarchy that will never accept you.
Ever.
I don't care. Ever. They don't like you. You're not a man.
They could not.
These are your rights too, girl.
Please.
Someone who comes to mind is Kat Kammick, anti-abortion, pro-life, quote unquote, because we all know these people don't give a fuck about human life. But yeah, she needed a life-saving abortion because she had an ectopic pregnancy, which is a lot that happens, and that's not a viable pregnancy.
Yep.
But of course, because of this stupid shit, the overturning of Roe versus Wade and these Republicans' pro-birth agenda, which is disgusting, makes me want to throw up just saying it. It's now tricky when you need life-saving fucking care, which is exactly what this is in this case. This girl called the governor of Florida, and he didn't answer, but like she was like, oh no, I need this care, and she ended up getting the care she needed, and it saved her life. But she still is on the wrong side of fucking history and advocating, against women being able to have access to abortion care.
Ugh, gosh.
And then, of course, she blamed Democrats for making the process complicated and making the nurses and doctors scared to treat her.
Okay. They are the ones who did that. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not a big, like, either side Dem, Republican, because both y'all got some skeletons.
It's all a hot-ass mess.
It's all a hot-ass mess. But don't you dare try to blame anyone but your fucking self for trying to make that shit.
You're a Republican. We all know what happened.
Girl.
Roe versus Wade was a thing for a fucking reason. And I feel like these people are acting like, I don't even know what they're acting like. It's like, especially the women, like men, of course, like these are old white men. They're ignorant. They're selfish. They don't give a fuck about anything but money. They don't care, right? Or I guess pro-birth, but pro-birth is really just more people to exploit. That's all they care about.
Right.
How can we exploit people? It's disgusting.
Because what about after birth? When they become humans.
Oh my God.
When they become adults, kids even. Whatever.
Babies. But anyway, this lady and all the women that you feel like for whatever reason, you take up the anti-feminist mantle and want to run with it to appease these men. You pick me, whatever the fuck you think is going to happen for you with this patriarchy. You think they're finally going to accept you and dub you an honorary man and give you the same rights they have. You're wrong. It's never going to fucking happen.
Delusional.
If they say they're going to line up all the women and kill them, guess who's also a woman, bitch? Guess who's also going to get killed? You! What are you doing? Woman to woman, what are you doing?
Come on.
I don't like it.
Ooh. I don't like that shit.
Be a girl's girl.
Come on.
Don't do this.
On.
It's killing us. It's literally killing us. Quite literally killing us.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay.
Shame.
I wish I had my bed.
I know.
Okay. Something else I don't like a know-it-all ass bitch.
Ooh, my God.
I cannot stand
You know
someone
nothing,
who just,
Jon Snow.
Literally, someone who just, like, look, we get it. You're smart. You got the answers. But also, shut the fuck up.
Let someone else talk.
Let someone
You
else
might learn
speak
something.
and be heard, because you might learn something else. Know it all. I cannot stand when you try to talk about something that you're clearly impassioned about and someone else tries to jump in and tell you some more shit and then just won't stop. They just going and going and going and going and going and going.
And you're just like, who asked you?
Who really asked you? And also too, it's like, I know, like, okay, so this must be the only thing you got going for you, is just knowing everything, right? Like, don't get me wrong. I see the work that's gone into the research, the studying that's gone into you just knowing it fucking all. But also too, you clearly missed the class about letting someone else speak, or being in community with other people, or knowing when to pick up on cues.
Reading the damn room.
Reading the room.
We didn't come for a lecture, babe.
Thank you.
We're at the winery.
Thank you. Go be a professor on your 9 to 5.
Get a TED Talk.
And then clock out. Okay? And then clock out and be just a regular person at the end of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Man, female, they, them, this is for you. Because just shh. Don't like that.
Me either.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that either.
Mm-hmm.
Mine next one is kind of the opposite of that. People who use Chat GPT for everything.
Ooh.
You're not reading on your own for yourself. You're not writing anything on your own. You're not thinking about nothing. You are just Chat GPT AI all over the goddamn place. You don't know how to write your own resume. You don't know how to chat up a lady. You don't know how to fucking flirt. You don't know how to do shit. Goddamn. Try.
Just
fail. Learn. What are we doing? What the fuck? Read the book. Why are you asking Chat GPT to summarize this book? Read it.
Yeah.
Listen to it on audio. What are we doing? We don't want to experience life anymore.
Yeah.
We want Chat GPT to tell us what everything is. Ew. Hate it. Live your life. You're a fucking person. What else are you here for? What are you doing? Stop it. ChatGPT doesn't know shit. You're actually training it with your experience as a human. Stop it. Fucking goddamn, stand up, humanity.
Please.
And also add to that AI being forced down our goddamn throats. Google, I Googled it. Yes. I didn't ask whatever Google AI, I don't know what that person's name or what that thing's name is. Yeah. I didn't ask you. I want a link to a website, babe.
Bring back Ask Jeeves.
Please.
I'm going to start a petition.
I asked the question, send me some links so I can read for myself. I don't want you to tell me what you think about what's going on. I don't care. You're a fucking AI. Yeah. You don't think.
And
You're
then
a fucking algorithm.
It'd be responding to you in like your tone that you like talk to. Be like,
get the hell out of here. When the hell did I sign up for this, babe? I didn't, Google. Get it together.
Yeah, Gemini.
I'm opting out. And a little pop-up. AI experience. Do you want to activate? Bitch, no.
Why does literally every single tool online now, Gmail, your email apps, your
search
Google
engines,
Docs apps,
Instagram, bitch.
Why is everything
Instagram AI?
AI?
That ain't what I came here for, baby.
Like, don't get me wrong. I enjoy a good tool. You know what I mean? Like a good little bit of support to support the mundane tasks. But like you said, why do we need AI for everything? You can't write an email. You can't write a response. Critical thinking, just a little.
You can't read something? There's people that'll ask ChatGPT to summarize an article. Babe, you can't read an article? Read. What's going on? What are we doing? We're losing it. It's literal brain rot. Yeah. They've studied it. Yeah. It's rotting your brain. Your brain isn't working, especially the kids, because the kids are the ones who are really using this. This is like a resource for them. You don't have to learn in school. So you're not learning, and they don't understand the ramifications of that. Yeah. You're too young to understand that your brain needs to fucking grow and develop and learn how to think Critical thinking. Why is it not mandatory? Why is that an elective? We need it now. Oh my God.
I know.
Don't get me started. This AI is crazy. People don't want to think.
Honestly,
oh my God.
Coming to an episode near you, because
the beginning of the end. I'm scared of it.
That is something else that we need to definitely talk about more in depth.
Absolutely.
Girl. Okay. Something else I don't like. Be Simone. Oh my God.
Same, bro.
You know,
Same.
I know we talked about this a little bit, but I have to.
You have to go in. You
I
really
have
do.
to.
Because, girl, what?
So B Simone has a podcast episode with her best friend talking about how she was broke. You might have heard the trend. It was going on for a lot. Right, exactly. The soundbite. But that's not why I don't like her. It's not because of the soundbite about her being broke. It's because she's a terrible friend, possibly a terrible person. Who knows? I don't know her, but I know from this episode, I'm like, what the fuck kind of friend are you? Because, number one, the whole episode, she was just talking about all her shit, and then her friend was just like, yes, girl, yes, having her back, like, and I'm talking about, like, it's like an hour, 20-minute long, or hour 10, or something like that, and it's literally her talking about her, like, overcoming and just all her things, the entire episode, and her friend just, like, being like, yes, girl, yes, girl. Her friend was awesome, but she was just like, damn, like, you don't want to reciprocate a little bit or ask her?
You don't want to ask her nothing?
Right, like, even the times where the friend did respond, it was more so, like, she had to take a moment, like, reclaim her time to, like, share a little bit about whatever it was. And when she did choose to share, she shared about how she was struggling and going through strife. She was a single mom and was homeless and all this, like, I think just last year. And B Simone can be heard on this podcast about, Jesus, damn, that is so crazy. This, mind you, is supposed to be your best friend. And she was like, you know, the friend was like, see, this is why it's hard being friends with a celebrity or somebody who has influence, because, you know, I saw you, like, giving handouts and checks to other people, and I didn't want to, you know, bring it up and blah, blah, blah. And then she goes, and then when I finally turned stuff around and I got a win, I called you and I shared it with you, and you said, okay, cool. We hung up. B Simone said, I felt convicted. I had to call you back and tell you that you sharing your good news with me made me feel, I didn't like the way it made me feel. Not in a way of, like, I didn't like how I didn't give you all the love and congrats.
Right.
But I didn't like how I felt a sense of anger or sadness. And the friend goes, oh, were you jealous? She said, no, I didn't want what you had. I just was upset that you didn't get it with me. You didn't get out the mud with me. Like, we didn't collaborate, because I love collaborating with the people in my life.
And yet, for a full fucking year, I struggled, and you didn't collaborate with me on a damn thing.
Hello. What are you talking about? I'm like, as the person, as I stand, as I live and breathe, this very moment, with what's in my bank account right now, if my good friend, if my best friend, Latasha Banks, were to say, oh my God, I'm a single mom, and
my man just left me.
I know this would never happen. But if she were to ever say that, she wouldn't even have to say a damn thing. She wouldn't have to ask for anything from me. I would absolutely be like, girl, let's go shopping. Let's go to the grocery store.
Right.
Do you want to come over? How can I help? We have a whole second room. Come and stay. Like, it would not be a thing. Come through. What can I do to help you?
What can I do to help you? Who can I connect you with? What jobs are you open to working? Can I watch the baby? What do you need? How can I help?
While you over here talk about, I can't shop at Bloomingdale's, I gotta go to H&M. This bitch can't go anywhere. Like, she gonna couch to couch.
And she has a baby.
Child. So, anyways, B Simone, you a dirty bitch. Fuck you, and I don't like you, and I really don't. I don't like that. I don't like the behavior at all.
Get help, ma'am.
Please.
I second that. Also, going on to what I don't like, middle seats on an airplane. What the fuck? Capitalism, we already know that. But like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I just recently had to spend the night, pretty much, at the Charlotte airport. And then after spending a night on a fucking rocking chair, I had to sit on a middle seat to Dallas.
Crazy. Crazy.
I had to lock in, y'all. I had to meditate for an hour straight to not lose my shit on this airplane. It was a lot.
Wow.
Luckily, I was able to just, okay, lock in. It is what it is. I had some CBD drops that helped a little bit as well. But y'all, the whole time I'm just like, God damn, because these people are greedy as fuck. There are people sitting in this middle seat with no leg room, with people next to you. You can't recline. You're just, you're my stuck. God, my neck, my back.
You're over here fighting for the armrest.
Yes.
Because everybody think that those armrests are theirs.
Like, girl, I know I had to, at one point I was like, look, expand. I'm sorry. You spend all your time trying to do this in the middle seat. But like, nah, F it.
These are mine.
These are mine. Bye. You have that side. You have that side. Right. I got the middle.
Exactly.
I have to fucking.
You got the window. You got the aisle. These are mine.
I had to take my jacket and fold it up and wedge it behind my back so that I can have some lumbar support. Honey, yes. It was a lot. I got through it and I'm proud of myself.
I'm proud too.
Fuck a middle seat. What the hell? Forget y'all for that. That's crazy. Crazy. Literally. Unnecessary.
I agree. I agree. Don't like that. And to follow up on that, my last one is, I don't like folks who do a part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 in their content videos. If you don't show me the damn hairstyle that you started the part 1, right now, at the end of part 1, I'm never going to see it.
Yeah.
I'm done. I give up. Because don't get me wrong, I've done it. I followed it. Because I'm like, okay, you hooked me. Now I want to see what the hell it is.
I have to see how it ends.
I need to see how it is. I want to see it through. But no more. No more. I'm not doing it anymore. I don't care if it's a craft, if it's a home good, if it's a fucking outfit. When you go and see Beyonce to Cowboy Carter, I don't want it anymore. Y'all keep all the parts. And bless those who do everything all in one video.
Okay.
That
part. For me, I will say exception for home renovations.
Ooh, okay.
Because it's a problem. It's a thing. Those are not overnight things. And then there's this girl I know. She does like crochet projects, and she made this like damn near life-size pony that she crocheted, and it took her a long time to do. And so that I will come back for updates.
If it's in real time.
A big project, yes.
There you go.
Ceramics, because you got to fire it and glaze it and fire it again. So, like, if it makes sense, okay. But if it's a hairstyle, an outfit, a makeup look, child, you could edit it all together.
That is a really good point. Because I appreciate the craftsmanship when it comes to those elements, like you mentioned.
Something that's going to take a long time, that like, you couldn't do this all in one day.
Right. You can't make over the whole house in a day.
You can't. You can't even, reupholster a couch in one day. You can show us the steps, but it's going to take, you got to do this, then you got to do that, and you got to... So I get that.
Right.
But, like, if it's really just, like, I'm cleaning my kitchen before and after... Just show me what it looks like.
Please,
what
thank
are you doing? Why are you trying to make this multiple videos? Don't do that. You're greedy.
Your makeup look is done. It's done.
The hairstyle is styled. You didn't walk out of the house halfway through the hairstyle.
Thank you. So
you finished it before you went where you were supposed to go. So show us what it looked like, and
wrap it up.
If you want to make another video with the hairstyle, fine. But show us the hairstyle. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Like you said, you're greedy.
You're greedy. You're being greedy.
You're being greedy.
There's more content out there.
Yeah.
There'll be another hairstyle. It's okay.
Exactly. Don't like that.
My last one is bad customer service. People that are rude as fuck to customers. I hate it. I've worked in customer service. I know what it's like.
Yeah.
I get it. And I feel like that's why I really don't have the patience for someone who's just outright rude.
No.
Like, I get it. If you come to the table and you're like, hey guys, so sorry, like I'm here. It's just me here, and I got a lot of tables, and it's, chaotic. So sorry, but here I am. What can I get you? But if you're rude as hell to the customers off jump because you're overwhelmed, that's bad customer service.
That's bad customer service.
It's bad customer service, and it's fucking rude.
It is.
And I hate it. Oh my God.
It's like, are you a good person?
What's going on?
What's up? Are you okay?
Are you okay?
It's not that deep to give a little kindness. Little kindness goes a long way.
Or at least a little bit of like respect.
Right.
Just like human decency type shit. Like just show up and be like, hey, what can I get you? I don't need you to kiss my ass. I just need you to like not be rude.
Thank you.
Don't be rude.
Treat me like another person. Thanks. There's enough bullshit in this life, in this world, to last a lifetime. We don't need any venom.
I don't need the barista to be being rude as fuck. And then like daring me to say something, because obviously I'm not one that believes in being rude to people who are making your food or drink.
Exactly.
And maybe they sense that in me, where I'm like, I'm not going to be rude to you because you're making my food.
They're like, I have too much power.
And now you're like rude. And it's like, oh, so I'm just trying to be cool. For me, if I get to the point where I'm now being rude, I'm walking out. I'm not eating anything from here.
Exactly. Like, F you guys.
I'm walking out. Like, I'm gonna cuss you out on the way out of the place because I'm not eating anything here. Once I've said something rude to you, I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
we've all seen the movies and the shows. I get it. You might throw my hamburger on the ground or some shit. I don't know. Give me some old fries. I'm not about to deal with that.
Yeah, no.
If it's up,
it's
up, then it's up, and we're out. I don't want none of this shit. I'm actually, you finally brought my food after fucking 3 hours. Boom, it's on the ground, and I'm out.
Exactly.
Fuck you. I'm not paying for none of this. Bye.
Yeah, keep it cute customer service, please. Be nice.
Keep it professional.
Keep it
You're
professional.
at work.
Please.
What the hell?
Come on now.
What don't y'all like? Do you agree with us? Were we wrong? Uh-oh.
Right.
Did you not like what we didn't like?
Ooh, let us know.
What you think?
Slide into the DMs or hit us up on Gmail, heyhowtobereal@gmail.com.
So I would love to thank North Fork TV Festival in New York for hosting me, for offering some really good food, some really dope conversations and panels, some really inspiring pilots, and for the opportunity to pitch my show and really get my feet wet as far as selling a TV show is concerned. It was awesome. I met some great people, and I had an unforgettable time.
Yes.
So thank you, North Fork.
I love that so much. And thank you so much to ROI, the Millionaire Summit, hosted by Rachel Rogers and the Hello 7 team. And also, super huge thank you to Strong Brand Social, who I was there representing. They sent me to the ROI Summit.
Nice.
And it was just an incredible experience. I got to be around a lot of other women, majority Black women, who are also entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs who are looking to make their first million or continue making millions. And it was incredible to learn from others, to interact with other folks who are chasing the same dream you are or living it already, and I really I learned so much about not only business but the mindset it takes to be ready for more, and so thank you so much to y'all. It was an incredible experience.
Nice.
For sure. And as we have been talking about throughout this entire episode, community is so important to us, and building community, building, who we want to attach ourselves to or detach ourselves from. But with that, stay connected with us. You can find us on Instagram at howtobereal. You can find our personal pages. I'm at justsay_tay.
I am at the Tasha B.
Yes, and if you want to send any listener letters, tell us what you like or don't like. If you just want to say, hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all doing a good job. You can hit us up at heyhowtobereal@gmail.com. You can also find us on Substack, as we mentioned earlier. Again, at howtobereal. Same thing on TikTok. You can also find our newsletter if you want to subscribe to it, which you should, because we talk about little cutting room floor moments from the podcast. Also on our Substack. And also our Substack is kind of like a one-stop shop. You can find our podcast, our newsletter, little things that we might post and think, and
Our feelings.
our little feels, and sooner or later, we're going to start a little chat there.
Yeah.
So it'll be a good time. So go ahead and subscribe over there. You can also, if you're more of a visual girly, then you can find us on YouTube, same handle, and we'd love to see you there as well. Please feel free to leave any comments, slide in the DMs.
Review, girl.
Rate, because reviews and ratings, they're so helpful to us. They help us to not only let us know how we can do better and improve on the show, but also reach more listeners like yourself. So go ahead and drop a rating and review wherever you're listening right now. And remember, we are not therapists. We just have them. You know what I mean? What's up? This week's random reel is on me this week.
Girl, keep talking.
Right, no, for real. So I'll keep it going. So I'm going to share a lesson that I took from the ROI conference.
Oh, yes, girl, share.
So a message from Gina Bianchini. She's the CEO and founder of Mighty Networks, who I did get the chance to meet at the summit. She was awesome. She shared that it doesn't matter if you've never done it before, charge for your work. All right? If folks aren't paying, they're not paying attention.
Ooh.
I was like, oh, snap. Read me, read us. Okay. You know what I mean? She said, if folks aren't paying, they aren't paying attention. It's about respecting yourself and the framework of what you've built, and them, the people who, your customer, your audience, respecting the community that you are building.
Okay.
Period. So,
a word.
Heard. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. She gave a great example, like consultants. Consultants come in, they've never done your job before, but they're helping you with your work. You know what I mean? They help top-notch Fortune 500 organizations, companies build their businesses, but they've never done the actual work that a Fortune 500 CEO would do. And yet they get paid top freaking dollar for it. So stop letting that excuse of, well, it's my first time, I've never done it before, get in the way of you charging what you should be charging.
Love.
Period. And with that, stay real.